this is Surya Saha, the author of book The Digital Choices, and you're listening to the Insurtech podcast, the platform to spread knowledge on insurance innovation, digital disruptions, and entrepreneurship. Our website, insurtechstory.com, and we are available on Spotify, Apple, and Google. Today, I welcome you to the world of AI, where we discuss the impact of AI or artificial intelligence on the future of insurance. And for now, I'm delighted to welcome our guest, Laik Singh, who is the co founder and CEO of Artivetic, which is a global risk and decision making platform that automates human decisions in insurance and healthcare to provide efficiency, transparency, risk assessment, personalization, and digitization in the entire life cycle of the operations. So, like, welcome on board, and I'm truly excited to have you for the show. Would you like to tell a bit more on
Hi.
Artivetic and some interesting cases that you have addressed in the recent past? Like, for example, the ICICI Prudential's AI-powered smart underwriting platform, which I believe your company have partnered with.
Thank you, Surya, for having me here. And it's good to be part of this show. And I love to be share my the learning that I have got for the last past few years that I'm working in the insurance sector. And coming to the kind of like questions you have been asking, so let me give a quick introduction about me. So we started Antibiotic around late 2017. You can say around we have been fairly 3 years right now. Our focus has been in automatic building the kind of a technology which can transform the way that insurance basically operates, the way that basically we can have the a customer to access the insurance, accessibility in terms of how they can buy claims, and in terms of also what they need basically. So that has been focused for Artivac to change the way that use of technology, data, and learning around that to build these platforms for the insurance business. In area of the recent cases that we're trying to solve right now through antibiotic point of view, but before I jump into that, let me give a quick example of a little diff of antibiotic. So say, antibiotic is basically a full stack insurtech and health platform. We have more than 400 plus APIs that we have available for insurance as infrastructure AI platform. And on top of that, we have a 5 plus core systems, which are data-driven systems in terms of underwriting, risk, claims, distribution, design, and many areas of the automated operations as well. And also we work on the areas of creating the technology in terms of non-invasive health, third-party data intelligence, building health device connectivity around that, mental health, wellness areas, and disease kind of predictions that we use it through our data. We also use the kind of like speech video technologies to insurance to help in terms of predicting health symptoms, analyzing the kind of like data in terms of fraud detections, risk scoring, and many such areas that you work around that. So using these technologies and processes, what we're trying to solve in the insurance industry, which you know is a legacy complex process. And take an example of the recent case of underwriting, which you rightly mentioned that we have been working with ICICI Prudential Life Insurance. And in fact, ICICI Prudential Life has been a first customer to Artivatic, and we start our Insurtech journey with them, you can say.
Awesome. Yeah.
So with ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, our focus is basically building a data-driven decision making, where we're trying to combining the kind of like a data as a raw data, as well as the data that we're trying to creating and combining from different third-party data, utilizing the government data, availability of different kind of image recognition technologies, and also applying certain data from the past claims and around that to basically building a risk scoring, decision making, profiling, to basically creating a dynamic risk assessment engine. The focus we're trying to build up that as an underwriter, you have multiple rules that you keep applying on that. This basically help you to basically pass the case, but the challenge happens with that where you basically have to analyze every case manually. You have to don't remember as an underwriter what we underwrite, what we underwrote yesterday, today, tomorrow. You don't remember. Also, the data that we're trying to combining to building the risk scoring, it doesn't happen normally. So our focus in Artivatic to solve this process as a dynamic risk underwriting system. The leverage of that happens that system basically go a user level underwriting. Currently, what happens they do the group level underwriting means certain group of 25 to 35 years group they want to go ahead with that and see any customer 5 rules 10 rules which is applied over there. It applied to everybody up to 25 to 35 years group. For example, in that bandwidth, if you look into that,
Right.
it may vary. But automatic is basically working all this data. The data in terms of want to use is environmental behavior data. Data that we can use it in terms of the sanitations, AQI, weather, many such kind of factors we use it over here. So that we can predict the better mortality, better morbidity factors, analyzing the financials, analyzing the kind of like health records, so that we can basically build up the health scoring, symptom analysis, disease scoring, and all these area that basically we use it over here. So our focus right now to solve this particular use case where we're basically trying to build up the personalized risk underwriting, reducing the risk for the insurance companies, enhancing the efficiency for them by enabling the faster case decision making process. And we also helping where the system is keep learning from the past data to keep evolving itself. As a human, you can't remember, you can't evolve, but the system keep learning and evolving on that. The another advantage is basically giving is a dynamic. So it doesn't sit on the kind of like a particular fixed patterns which we're using for last 10 years, 20 years, but basically allowing that to basically creating the kind of like each individual a different set of underwriting to give the better insight risk profiling to you. So this is what we're trying to solve as use case right now in terms of the one of the use case as an writing point of view for ICC potential.
Interesting. I think this particular your project and with the underwriting. I mean, with respect to smart underwriting at the ICICI Prudential, it has become quite a well-known case, which is all over the social network, and it was quite inspiring to see that such kind of innovation that has actually happened on ground in the Indian ecosystem. So I think this will certainly
Yes, sir.
lead for many more innovations in this space. This is really remarkable.
No, you're absolutely right, Surya. Not only with ICC Prudential, I think the same model now we have integrated with the four more insurance companies in India, and in fact, two of them is already live. So another use case I will give it to you for the same underwriting to look into that way as of use of AI technology data. So now we extended the model as an alternative underwriting system as well. So other than the smart underwriting, which we already working with the different other clients like Aditya Birla Life Insurance and many other clients as well, where we have gone fully live as well.
Right.
And the same story that we're repeating with the ICICI Prudential is already repeated with Aditya Birla Life Insurance right now. The similar kind of like engine that we created as an alternative underwriting system as well in this particular use case, where we're trying to creating the kind of like a model without taking any documents from the customer, utilizing the data from the government of India, India's tech on top of that. We don't want the customer to even fill up the forums as well. This is automatically the customer comes, they select the product, the forum automatically get fills with a quick OTP that do one or two OTP that we do. We fetch the data based on the consumer consent in terms of the selfie as well as the public data that we can build up. The data that we also collecting from different environmental third party device, all these around that. And this process normally takes us around 45 seconds maximum to basically build up risk profiling about individual and identifying the kind of like early claims and fraud intelligence as well right away there itself. This process is basically helping the insurance companies in the beginning when the customer is coming and they just want to buy the product. So the time of that filling of the 7 8 pages and forums is we are moving out that process to 60 seconds itself and helping the insurance companies where the straight process can happen right away there itself within 45 to 60 seconds there itself without documentation. Another advantage of the same system is currently helping the partners like, for example, like Flipkart, for example, like marketplaces, who basically trying to now sell the insurance. But what happens in the insurance journey, though the product is available, for example, on Flipkart or other platforms right now, but we're trying to make it happen to alternative underwriting up to a certain sum assured limit of, for example, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs. We're trying to build in the technologies through this embedded partnership, you can call it. The moment customer comes on the platform and start buying it, the system based on the quick information start collecting the data right away. And based on that, it builds the complete risk scoring to you right away. and help the insurance company to sell the insurance there itself. And underwriting can happen on these platforms like Flipkart, marketplaces, any platform, banca, you can do there itself. So you don't have to send this data back to the insurance company, then they underwrite and get back to you. But instead of that, this API basically pull the data and do the underwriting through automatic. We collect the data, we give the data to the insurance company and help them to give the incentive right away there itself. So not only with the traditional underwriting to digitizing and empowering that right now, but also helping these different partners, because now more and more people are selling the insurance, the distribution is increasing.
Right.
And that's where this becomes a strong point over here with these partners to embed that right away and help real-time underwriting to be done. This process is already live with one of the life insurance company in India in production right now that we're currently going on. So yes, there's a lot of advantage. The system is basically building on that.
So I think what you mean to say here is the technology that you guys are working on. Um, it's quite quite remarkably building on the KYC process from the time the customer onboards the platform. Is that the is
Yes,
that the
you're right. From there itself, the system basically takes
right?
care of the end-to-end process. So automatic is basically have the full stack underwriting. It's not just the kind of like a decision making or process, but it's a full
Right.
stack process where it has the kind of like opportunity as you're working with few of the businesses where we have replacing itself, not only just basically complementing also. Obviously, some customers we complementing, but some customers right now we are replacing the entire legacy engine to the complete dynamic and the smart underwriting end to end. They can take it over. The advantage happens because you don't have to build a different journey process that you do currently right now. You just one API click, just connect with the kind of like a starting point and fill up the data, process the kind of consume the data, develop the risk scoring, checks all the data, all the kind of like checking, processing, digitizing, government calling, EP, all happen real time. The entire process normally takes for automatic for receipt to process 45 to 60 seconds to process. If it is a medical process, then we also trying to reducing this technology to reducing the medical cases. So our focus is that how we can reduce the medical tests as well. But
Right.
in certain cases, medical test is coming as well. Uh, when they also comes from the system, from the like TPAs or the kind of like diagnosis centers, then this technology basically pick up this data automatically and gives the response in the next 30 seconds as well back to you. So this entire processing is available in different kind of like aspects from the customer start buying to the time you want the policy get issued automatically. So entire journey is dynamically in 60 to 90 seconds. You can basically make it happen.
Absolutely. So essentially, what we are trying to do is build the customer experience from the time he or she is just on the platform. I think
Absolutely true.
I think that's
Absolutely.
what would defines the future of digital transformation. It's particularly in the fields like
Absolutely
financial
true.
services and
Absolutely.
insurance.
Because the first touch point comes to customer.
Yeah.
And so it's basically helping on the customer touch point so that their buying power increases. They basically can buy themselves. They basically can get the better decision real time. But on the other side, this technology also collecting all these different data points which is missing as a piece and helping the insurance company, the back end side, to identifying the better customers, to identifying the better risk assessment process, identifying the better premiums, coverages, benefits on that, and also helping them in terms of identifying the early claims predictions too. So it is helping not only the customers, but also helping on the back end process, the insurance company to transforming that as well.
Absolutely. No, that this is fantastic. Um, like in recent years, the insurance industry has started to implement AI and related tools into business practices.
Yeah,
However, insurance companies have been much slower as well to adopt new technologies. If you just see the recent past couple of years as being in the conservative front, when compared to some of the industries l- within the financial services like the banking and others, there's comparatively a slow adoption for insurance. But
true,
also because the insurance industry is so multifaceted, the possibilities of technologies like AI and machine learning, and even
yeah,
much bigger ones like blockchain, are nearly endless.
true,
So,
absolutely true.
with this, if I may ask, how, according to you, AI is bringing the insurance industry into the future?
Thank you, Surya. I think that's an interesting question as well. As you rightly said, the differences between the banking itself. So inside the financial industry itself, the way that insurance industry is growing in term transformation is obviously like a multiple x less than what the lending has gone through. So lending has been reached to a quite of significant level right now, where within like a 30 seconds or 2 minutes, you can actually buy up to 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs loans on your phone itself without visiting the bank, which was not possible 3 years, 5 years back. But the same pace is coming in insurance though. However, insurance has a different challenges. So the reason is that because insurance is a combination of financial plus health and basically depend on the human's life. But in banking, when we transacting in terms of the financials point of view. But when we look at insurance, we just don't look at insurance as a financial point of view. It
Right.
basically protects life. It basically protects your anything that is around you. It basically protects your anything that you want to basically around that, which consumes of your financials, your health, your mental ability. Many such areas basically connect on the insurance point of view. The another critical point over here is that this industry, as I said, works with different products. Example, if I build a product of protection, or I build a product of critical health, or I build a product of auto. See, the industry is so much vast in a way because like everything can be insured. Think in a way everything can be insured. The industry is so depth and so big. Like you have an insurance for health, life, motor, auto, marine, like your laptops, furnitures, travel, your warehouses, your businesses, your code, your contract. But that is not is a way in the banking sector. So
True.
the kind of like challenges is very very complex in insurance. Uh, in inside like insurance company becomes a kind of like a 10x of the bank in terms of size when they run it, because every business, like if health is set up in a company inside insurance company, the health insurance division inside itself is insurance company, because it does involve the kind of you basically sell the policy first, then you basically maintain that policy, then you basically makes the yearly peer premiums as well, then ultimately the claims comes. But in banking, it is not like that. You basically bought a loan, you're repaying that. There is no claims process and nothing like that. But in insurance, it is all of things. You have to sell as well, you have to collect as well, and you have to pay as well. And that is the challenging part, because then they need a kind of like a risk assessment, risk processing very in depthly. And also, the be like who are you, which what is your age, where you belong to, which location you are living into, which environment that you are basically breathing into. A lot of factors involved in terms of mortality and morbidity factors. So that is a very critical area in terms of when you're developing a pricing, when you're developing a risk. So yes, the challenges are ultimate and huge in the insurance industry, and the pain points are very high as well. As you also, like this industry has been more like an industry where people always think the insurance as a 31st March investment
Mhm.
kind of. They never used earlier in a point of view, for protection point of view, before the COVID dates actually, to be honest. As you know that only less than 4% penetration is there.
Right.
In spite of people having more than 30% of access to the digital banking right now. But insurance penetration is still up to 4% right now. The reason is very simple, because people never thought as a insurance as a part of the protection. They always thought as a insurance in a part of their savings, that you want to invest in LIC, and you're saving money actually. You're getting money back actually. They never thought. And in India have like a very less people having the health protection. I think after Ayushman Bharat, people are realizing the value of health insurance. But before that, less than 1% of people used to have the kind of like health insurance, which has now reached to 18-20% at the moment. It's very good thing for last 2 years that has been reached to. So there is a challenge. And this industry has been more like a business of push selling than kind of like a pull way. There is also challenge. The tools are not available as a digital transformation. If you basically want to buy, take an example, I think the some transformation has happened in the life and health or motor, where you can basically buy the insurance digitally to certain extent, but not for the all cases though. But also, if you look into the case of commercial insurance, this process itself is like a kind of like a zero level, right? If you want to buy an insurance for a business and corporate, anything around that, You can't do it online. You can't make it payment online, right? You need to basically follow with them the emails and get a quotation, then pay it. So yes, there is a lot of disconnect out there. The processing has been always focused by the person, trust. But that trust is being taken care of the technology right now, and that's where this processing is coming in the picture. Now, say an
True.
example, the area of information I'll talk about. Say an example like I will give you a very decent example of COVID itself. Insurance company, I mean, 90% of the insurance company 90% of the insurance company did not have the kind of like a process in terms of where they can have the kind of like like they can have the kind of like a process they allow the customer to buy online. They can't do that, right? And before COVID, I think 90% people does not have the laptops as well in insurance. They used to work in the office itself. So when the distribution happens, they can't work from home. I mean, the agents are the people who are 10th pass sometime. They not get the proper trainings and process. And sometimes these were kind of like a processing, it hinders the kind of like a approach the distribution and many such as a technology issue, awareness issue is there. And the brick and mortar businesses like, say example like SBI Life and all these businesses, they have like 5,000 plus branches in India, and they never had the kind of like a process where they can have the digital way. Now they basically taking some branches, brick and mortar businesses are there. I mean, people are not going these days to the branches. They're paying hefty amount a monthly basis and everything to them right away. They can't do that, right? So they can't do that actually. So brick and mortar businesses are coming as a part of the kind of like a digital solutions and processes and around that. So that is happening. It was not. So
True.
now, through a platform like MuSales that Artivatic has it, we are basically setting up the virtual branches or you can say digital branches where you don't have to visit. You can basically have your agent can access the way that you used to operate a branches. You can basically have a servicing there. You can have the kind of like a process where you can basically have the talk to your like branch managers, agents by the virtual communication, video. You can do that all. So this is one of the example that which is currently broken, the sales go down because of that. The second example I gave on underwriting point of view, the issue that is happening right now. The third example you can think around the claims point of view, right? You want to take in health claims right now. It takes a lot of kind of like a problem.
Yeah.
You have to pass over the TAs, you have to pass over the hospitals. You can't get, so people don't have a trust on that actually. And that's
Absolutely.
why they don't
Yeah.
buy because they don't get their claims back. A lot of hurdles are there. Submit this documentation, submit that process. Because from the beginning itself, the insurance company has not built a process because they can basically understand the customers. Okay, when what kind of like a health problem they're going with, what kind of like a issue they have. So if they track it down these processes around that, they know that what when the customer is going for a health claims, customer is going for, you have the information available previously as well. You can use that information to build that and like build a kind of like instant claims to be happen. So it is a kind of nightmare for them. So and risk fraud is another area. Some people,
Hmm.
consumer basis frauds on the life policies, death, furgy, like kind of like a duplicate death certificate and all the doing around that. So a lot of issues there. And I think 60, 70% businesses I know, they used to ask the customers to courier the documents, the physically scanned documents for the claim to process. And I know one of the company was working with them, their claim cycle process for like in accidental death claims I'm talking about, they used to do around, example like only 20% case claims in 30 days, but remaining 40% cases they do 90 days. The remaining 30% cases out of that they were using 200 days timelines. This is the kind of like gaps is there. So if as a customer I want to buy a policy, if I will take 200 days to get the claims, I think that breaking the trust as well. But considering the kind of newest platform like Flipkart and all these distribution platforms is launching, I think the reach is reaching. People are understanding the value, not only the life insurance right now, but
Hmm.
they know that okay, buy my home insurance, I can buy my bike insurance, I can buy my kind of like a travel insurance, I can buy my health insurance, I can buy my mobile insurance. So that reach is there. People are able to understand the different variations of the insurance as well.
Absolutely. I think besides bringing process transformation and product evolvement, technology will also bring in more discipline to the insurance industry, which
It is
is
needed actually.
which is
The
also a need of
transparency,
the hour. Yeah, yeah,
it is
absolutely.
the transparency, the trust, and the kind of like experience is very critical. I
Yes,
can make a underwriting systems in the back end, but if the same underwriting system is not helping my customers to get the insurance what they need for it,
true.
then this technology has no use then.
True, absolutely. I mean, of course, who else will know better than you the process of underwriting and the importance of data that is for underwriting process in the entire value chain of the insurance process. So, if I may ask, how, according to you, insurance may get affected by big data? What's your opinion?
Okay, no, I think it is a very critical information. Data is a very critical for insurance. I mean, data not only helping in transforming the processes, not only helping in terms of transforming the customer experience, not only helping in terms of providing the better value to their trainings, awareness, but more critical component of this data, how to basically drive the price. Because in insurance, the what matters most is the pricing,
All right,
right? Which is being designed to a customer's need instead of as a kind of like a standard everything, but the data basically helps you to visualize the kind of like profiling about individual, about an entity, about a family, and helps you to basically design a better product and pricing and benefits that you can give to. Say an example, a person living in Darjeeling and person living in Delhi, right? Delhi has the kind of like a more temperature issue, but Darjeeling has the more weather issue. The
right,
kind of like disease that can happen in Delhi, the kind of like a disease that can happen in Darjeeling are totally different. So you can't say currently that the person who is coming with the age of 25 to 30 in that group from Delhi and Darjeeling, you can basically provide the same policy. It will basically providing the lesser benefit to the both the sides there. So the data can basically help you because disease the higher temperature and weather affect directly on skin. But the higher kind of like amount of like the rain and all these things help in terms of creating the kind of like they basically create a lot more kind of like you can say like mosquito, dengue, and like a disease that can basically create in terms of the kind of like a mild fever and many such areas. So thinking that because in that means like the mortality and the morbidity of the two different people in the same country can vary. The similar
true,
example, if you look at Kanpur, another example you can look into Kanpur then. Kanpur has the higher pollution basically then. Because there's a lot like a so the pollution directly impacting on your disease, like in terms of your breathing issue, is pointed like many such areas basically impacting on that. It basically impacting on your uh, disease problems like your and this like your breathing problems and all. It basically impacting that how quickly you have to go to the medical, how quickly your mortality impacting on this data is very critical. And also on the other area, other than the pricing and designing benefits, when the customer is buying a policy, you want to verify the identity of the individual with the data. All right, instead of you
right,
checking the kind of like documents manually, it basically allows you to do the customer identity verification right away as a data point of view. The verification, use of like a facial recognition, signature verification, voice, video, you can utilize the technologies to basically use the data and you empower the better and the kind of like riskless underwriting or onboarding can do. The second part, like in terms of the kind of like uh, claims, early claims, you will be able to utilize the data to identify that who is the kind of like customer who has the potential chances of making a fraud or making a like a against like illegal attempts in terms of creating the kind of like claims to be done. So this is basically enabling the business strength of enabling the better ROI, helping them kind of increasing their claims loss issue better. So it helps the data. And this data can also help you in terms of utilizing the claims journey. So like you want to use in terms of the kind of like understanding the kind of like potential behavior in terms of placing disease, understanding the kind of like when you coming for the claims next time, and what are the kind of information we had in the beginning onboarding, how to see that how the health has been changed, it has been deteriorated or it has been improved actually. or something is major happening. So data is basically a process the entire value chain, either distribution, sales, onboarding, underwriting, claims, operation, compliance, product design. The data helps everywhere. Without data, you can basically make an Excel sheet where you can just think around something, columns, this age, gender, you can build up. But data basically help you to precisely build up your pricing, benefits, risk, and better designing of the products and go to the GTM faster as well. So it helps on the ROI, efficiency, time, cost, customer experience, all these areas.
Absolutely. Most insurance companies understand that big data is at the crux of their system. But the irony is only a few actually truly understands how to process it and also how to put it to good use within their business. I think
Right.
that's one of the areas that technological startups like yours is going to give a real push to that aspect of the big incumbents business. I think
No, you're absolutely right. You're
that's one of
absolutely
the
right.
really
I
good way
think
to
I'm
move ahead.
absolutely right. Absolutely right, Surya. I think I'm seeing a big trend. I think underwriters now able to understand the value. When I'm interacting with many underwriters who's working with the large businesses right now, they're able to understand the use of even Google Map. They understand the use of the kind of like a locality. They understand the kind of like use of all these parameters, how to transform that. And they basically understand the value that how they can basically combine the claims data with the new business and underwriting to make it more better improvement. Because earlier what is happening, these systems are using in silo. The connection is not there. So the claims team does not know what is happening in the underwriting. When I was working around a year back or a half years back, I used to see that the claim team does not have an idea what the underwriting business is working on that, and they does not have an idea in terms of uh, underwriting team does not have an idea what claim system is doing. So they are working all silo independently because the system was designed such a way. If claim
Right.
system is there, claim system only. The only connectivity was there from the policy management for the policy data. So the kind of like a connectivity, as we call it, unified insurance is missing out. So the moment we grow as a unified insurance, which has the connectivity, all the kind of like environment in terms of the data connectivity for underwriting and claims to the sales as well, the sales data to underwriting back as well. So this is very important for the use of data, big data, and that is a big challenge with the insurance company, to be honest, as I face right now, because most people working in the insurance companies have been hired for different projects, but these projects are not even collaborative to each other. So that is basically the kind of like a lot of issues, and most of the company trying to build up the better dashboard and then building the kind of better algorithms, which is a bigger issue right now.
Absolutely. Like as we started this show with artificial intelligence and, of course, machine learning, I think these both are crucial in discovering the full potential of big data, particularly in insurance. And I think both will play you know, a role to complement each other to help the process more robust in the near future. Um,
True.
thank you. Like it was a fantastic discussion, and thank you for sharing your thoughts today. It was truly a delight to have your guest. And lastly, to
Thank you
wrap
so
this
much,
up,
Surya.
thank you for listening, and see you at our next episode. Take care, stay safe,
Thank
and
you so much,
goodbye for
Surya.
now.
Thank you so much. It was nice connecting to you. Thank you.